is it's coming. He's on the tree. It's the same one that's on the tree.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that go up and down.
Trees?
No. They nibble off
See,
the
it's
barks.
got little blue.
All night, all day, angels watching over me, my Lord.
So it's a beautiful day, and we're surrounded by birds and trees, and a very sunlit day. And I wanted to come together with you, Barbie and Georgia, to share how profound this experience is that I'm in consciousness, and how I would hope that some of the things that we've learned together and I am learning would be of value to other people who are in a long-term body condition, and how to hold it in a way that is conscious. I'm 3 years into a so-called cancer process that's taken me to this point, where at this point I don't have use of the legs. We have no idea if I have 2 weeks or 2 years. It's a very interesting stage to be at, because the mind is clear, the body is numb, and here we are. I really have to give tremendous thanks to the spiritual teachings that I've explored, spiritual teachers I've met this lifetime, and I feel like this is when the rubber hits the road. It's fine to be in peace and joy when everything is, going great, but what happens when you're bedbound and someone's changing your diapers, and you get up another day and you look at the same scene? What is it that has occurred in my consciousness that's allowing that to happen? It's just as much of a mystery to me as it is to you. But I think I've gotten some of the handle on why that is happening. So again, it's the story that our mind tells ourselves. Well, I can make up some really wonderful stories about this, as well as some horrific stories about this condition. And that key word, yes, if there were any one word I could give to any of us in terms of the non-suffering path, it's yes. And that is the biggest gift I've been given this lifetime. To really get it at a cellular level.
And what I keep thinking about is what you've told me over and over and over again, that what has sustained you through this is the question, what is the blessing in this?
Yeah.
In each moment.
Yeah, I do have to tell you this part of my story. I think there were like 3 questions or 3 things that my mind was working with over these past couple years, and one was this mantra that I got through religious science, when the first principle they say is, there's only one consciousness here, only one, only one, only one. And I walk through the Carmel streets with that mantra in my chest, walking down the streets where I felt totally in my separateness, at that split off level. But through this mantra, honest to God, by doing this, I experienced so much love. I could look at that woman in the furs and say, there I am. There's only one here. Or be at the gas station attendant. And instead of that original thing, oh, there's a gas station attendant, really say, oh my God, there's God. Or there's only one here. That one mantra helped me experience at a more depth level what I had tasted with Gangaji. And so I just pass that along for anyone who can grab onto that.
Really good one.
And then the second one was, thank you for this moment. I had this experience after I had chemotherapy one time, It was, you know, probably a few days later, and my body was really spent. And I thought, oh, I got it. If I can just get in the car and make it down to the beach, Carmel Beach. Oh God, what a great thing! And I did. I made it down there. I laid down on this warm yellow sand, and I could hear the beauty of the waves. And I thought, dear God, I am in paradise. And I laid down and just went into this little altered state. And that mantra, thank you for this moment, was what I was working with at that time. And what happened was, I said, how could I not thank life for this moment? I went to all of the people in the world who are suffering. I mean, this whole thing opened out to like, look, I'm here. It's a sunny day. I'm totally in deep peace. There's no suffering mind happening. And there are people around the world who are in pain, physical, literal pain, and are in suffering in all the wars. And that also was like, that mantra drilled its hole into my heart so that it was thank you for this moment over and over again. And it still continues to be that. But so that's the blessing piece. And I think that's, to me, also one of the major keys to the daily life of the yes. What was it? Saying yes, there's only one here. And that last one is, what on earth is the blessing here now? And to wake up with that question every day, whether you call it gratitude practice or blessing practice, I feel it opens the gate to spirit. I really do. So what happens when we do this, even to this body now? Thank it, praise it, love it. It's that love key again. And what is, how people say, well, how do I love? How do I hit my heart? Well, I found one of the best ways is just say thank you. You know, what's the blessing here? And that turn of mind creates a whole different experience of life. You know, I really feel that. You know, a couple of things that I had this grace time for is like we were talking about attachment and detachment. Mm-hmm. It's like then when I was out of pain, I could go through this experience of saying, how do I let go of all these people and my friends that I love? Mm-hmm. How do I let go of this earth that I love? I didn't find by like saying, I got to detach, that worked at all. Mm-hmm. What did work is to say, I love this even more. I love that tree and the way the bark is on it. I love the sun. I love my friends even more.
To love whatever even
more.
Love anything even more. Yeah.
And that is the strangest thing, where if you go halfway, it's like Velcro.
But you know what? That's the opening versus the resistance.
Well, that's it, because what I found is that instead of the object becoming important, the experience of love grows to the point where you're on that magic carpet of love. So you can imagine in an instant the body dropping and being in that frequency of love. Mm-hmm. So at that moment you're one with all dimensions. Okay, this is where I started finding this stuff in Yogananda's book, Where There's Light. And he has a little chapter in here on death, and I thought, wow, I've never heard anybody talk about it this particular way, nor have I been particularly interested until now. And this was from a student that came to Yogananda, and he said, I have never been able to believe in heaven. Is there truly such a place? Yogananda said, yes. Death is not the end of things, but a transfer from physical experiences in the gross domain of changeable matter to pure joys in the astral realm of multicolored lights. Astral planets abound in opal lakes and bright seas and rainbow rivers. I mean, sign me up. That sounds like a pretty darn good place to go. You know, and when I read through Yogananda, we were going to come down as spirits and play the way God wanted us to play as spirit beings, but then we got trapped in our identity with ourselves as physical bodies. So, if that's true, you know, he says, the only purpose of being on the earth is to go back to God. Now, however you translate that, that's up to all of us. But I really feel the truth of what he says.